Have you ever had a free afternoon and somehow still felt guilty? No deadlines, no urgent messages, nothing you absolutely had to do. And yet, instead of feeling free, you feel restless, as if you were supposed to be doing something. Reading, exercising, learning, improving, catching up. And if you did none of those things, the day felt wasted. I think many of us know this feeling, and in this video I don't want to give you time management advice. I think there are enough videos like this on YouTube. I want to ask why so many of us feel the constant need to manage time in the first place. I think our fear of wasting time reveals something important about modern life, because time is not only something that passes, it's also something we're taught to understand in very specific ways. So of course time is real, days pass, bodies age, the sun rises and sets, but the way we understand time is not simply natural. And this is easy to forget because the way we think about time feels so obvious. We imagine time as a line. The past is behind us, the future is ahead of us. Life moves forward. And progress means moving forward. Success means being further ahead than before, but this is not the only way humans have understood time. Different cultures have imagined time through cycles, seasons, ancestors, returns, repetitions, or even relationships. It does not always have to mean progress. It does not always have to mean productivity. And I think that's important because when we realize that our understanding of time is not the only possible one, we can start to see it from the outside. We can still participate in it. We still live in a world of schedules, deadlines, appointments, and calendars. But we do not have to treat this way of understanding time as natural or inevitable. We can ask, what kind of life does this idea of time create, and what does it make difficult to value? So in modern Western culture, time is often treated as a resource, something we can spend, save, lose, waste, or even invest. Even the language sounds like money. We say we're spending time, saving time, wasting time, investing time, running out of time. This language feels normal to us, but it reveals a whole worldview. It teaches us to see time as something that must produce value. And once time becomes a resource, doing nothing starts to feel like failure. Because if time is something you can own, then you're responsible for using it well. And if you do not use it well, you have wasted it. This is where the fear begins. Not because every quiet afternoon is actually wasted, but because we have learned to measure time through usefulness. So this way of thinking is deeply connected to modern work culture. Industrial societies organize life around clock time. So work began at a specific hour, schools trained children to follow schedules, factories, offices, universities, and now digital workplaces all depend on measurable time. Time becomes something that can be divided, tracked, optimized, and evaluated. And slowly, time becomes moral. A productive person is seen as disciplined, serious, ambitious. A person who wastes time is seen as lazy or unfocused, falling behind. So the question is no longer only, what did you do today? The question becomes, did you use your time well? And that question can be exhausting because it means that even our free time has to justify itself. Rest is allowed, but often only if it serves productivity. We rest so we can work better. We sleep so we can perform better. We take breaks so we can return stronger. Even rest becomes part of the productivity system. It's no longer valuable because we're humans. It's valuable because it helps us to produce again. This is also why self-improvement culture is so powerful. It does not only tell us to work harder, it tells us to become better. A better worker, a better student, a better parent, a better body, a better mind, a better version of ourselves. And of course, wanting to grow is not wrong. Learning is beautiful, but there's a difference between growth and the feeling that you're never allowed to simply exist. In modern culture, the self often becomes a project, something to optimize, something to monitor, something to improve. And time becomes the material from which that better self is supposed to be built. So an empty hour can feel threatening because it silently asks, are you using this to become who you're supposed to be? And if the answer is no, guilt appears. Social media intensifies this feeling because now we do not only experience our time, we constantly see other people's time. Their routines, their goals, their milestones, their productive mornings, their successful evenings, their carefully edited ordinary days. And even if we know these images are curated, they still affect us. They create quiet comparison. Everyone else seems to be using their time better. And suddenly our own ordinary day looks insufficient. Not because nothing happened, but because nothing impressive happened. Nothing measurable, nothing shareable, nothing that proves we are progressing. And this is how the fear of wasting time becomes connected to the fear of falling behind, because if time is a line and everyone is moving forward, then standing still is dangerous. So when we say we're afraid of wasting time, what are we really afraid of? Maybe we're afraid that our lives will not add up to something, that we will miss our potential, that we will fall behind, that we will not become the person we were supposed to become. And this is why the feeling is so powerful. It's not just about one afternoon. It's about the fear of a life without enough proof. Proof that we worked hard, proof that we mattered, proof that we did something with the time we were given. But not everything meaningful leaves proof. A conversation, a walk, playing with a child, sitting in silence, being bored, simply being alive. These things may not look productive, but that does not mean they're wasted. I'm not saying we can simply step outside of modern time. We still have responsibilities. We still have work. We still have appointments, deadlines, and people who depend on us. But cultural studies teaches us that what feels natural is often historical and constructed. What feels obvious is often learned. And what is learned can't be questioned. We can participate in the system without fully believing in it. We can use calendars and schedules and still remember that life is more than a schedule. We can have goals and still refuse to turn every moment into a self-improvement. And we can respect time without worshiping productivity. So the next time you feel guilty for doing nothing, maybe pause before you judge yourself. Ask, is this still wasted time, or have I just learned to value only the parts of life that can be measured? If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. I see you in the next video.